I'll go through one more question and then I'll give you one to try. So let's say we have 3x minus 2y that is equal to 11. And well, simultaneous equations, they are a pair of equations. We have to have an next one, which is 4x plus 2y that is equal to 10. So we have equation, we have to label this equation 1, and we will label the next one equation 2. So these are our two equations. This is our pair of equations. And we need to solve for the value of x, and we need to solve for the value of y. The value of x and y must satisfy the both equations, right? So basically now what we're doing is, first of all, you look to see if the coefficient of x and y are the same, right? The coefficient of x is the number in front of x. So let me put in that here, right? So coefficient of x and y are basically the numbers in front of the letters x and y, right? So that is the coefficients, right? So the first step, step one, look to see if the coefficients are the same for both equations. For each variable, for one variable, for one variable, right? So that is our first step, right? Step two would be if the coefficients are the same for a particular variable. Now the word variable, that means letter. You can eliminate that variable by either adding or subtracting. So I'm going to put this in capital letters. Adding or subtracting the two equations, right? Then step three, solve for the other variable that you did not eliminate. Step four, solve for the variable you had eliminated by substituting the previous variable into any one of the equations, any one of the given equations. Alright, so we're gonna use these steps here now, these four steps here now, to solve simultaneous equations. Right? Okay, so if I say coefficient of x and y are basically the numbers in front of x and y. If I ask you to identify and to state if the coefficient of x and y are the same for equation 1 and 2. The coefficient of x for equation 1 is 3. The coefficient of x in equation 2 is 4. 3 and 4 are different numbers. So therefore the coefficient of x for equation 1 and equation 2 is different. We move on to the next variable, the next letter. That is y. Coefficient of y is negative 2. We're not concerned about the sign for now. We're just concerned about the number in front of the variable. So it is 2. The coefficient of y in equation 2 is also 2. So the number in front of x, the number in front of x are different. The number in front of y is the same. Right. So now that we know that the coefficient of y is the same, the number in front of y is the same, we look for the sign. We look at the sign. In equation 1 it is negative. In equation 2 it is positive 2. So let's write down that. So it's negative 2 from equation 1 and it is positive 2 from equation 2. We need to either add or subtract these two numbers to get 0 because we want to eliminate this, right? So if we have negative 2y and we have positive 2y and we want to get 0, if we send negative 2y minus 2y, we will get negative 4y. But if we say negative 2y plus 2y, we will get 0. So this negative 2y was from equation 1. This positive 2y was from equation 2. Go back the addition sign. Right, so we see that if we add equation 1 and equation 2, we will get 0. We will cancel off the y term. Right? Simple. Right, so we established that we can add the two equations to eliminate y. Right, so we did the first step. Look to see if the coefficients are the same for both equations for one variable. The one variable in this case is y. The coefficient is the same. Step 2. If the coefficients are the same for a particular variable or letter, in this case y, the coefficient of y is the same, you can eliminate that variable by either adding or subtracting the two equations. In this case, we will be adding the two equations. So let's add the two equations and get rid of y. So if we say equation 1 plus equation 2, you say, let's see, you say 3x plus 4x will give you 7x, right? So 3x plus 4x will give you 7x. Negative 2y plus 2y, that will give you 0. So you can put plus 0. Or you even need to put in a 0, but I will put it in plus 0. That is equal to 11 plus 10. This 11 plus 10, which is 21. So 7x is basically equal to 21. Now, you have a 7 in front of x and you want to get rid of that. So you can simply divide both sides by the number 7, right? Or you can carry across the 7, but when you carry it across, you will need to divide by 7. Because this is 7 multiplied by x on the left hand side. So when you put it to the right hand side, you will have to divide by 7. So therefore, x is equal to 21 divided by 7. Therefore, x will be equal to 3. Right? So the value of x is 3. So now that we know the value of x, we go on to the next step. So let's say solve for the other variable that we did not eliminate. The variable that we did not eliminate, this is wrong. You're supposed to solve for the variable that you eliminated. Solve for the variable that you eliminated, right? Because we already solved for the variable that we did not eliminate here, which is x. So now we have to solve for the variable that we eliminated, which is y. We need to get a y value now, right? So for the variable you had eliminated by substituting the previous variable into any one of the given equations. So it's substituting this x is equal to 3 into any one of the given equations, which is equation 1 and equation 2. Right? So I will substitute it into equation 2. But could I use equation 1? So I would say for substitute, x is equal to 3 into equation 2. So since I write equation 2, I put a circle around it. That means equation 2. So solve for the variable you had eliminated by substituting x is equal to 3 into any one of the given equations. We use an equation 2. So wherever we see x, replacing it with the number 3. So we have 4 multiplied by 3 plus 2y, and that is equal to 10. Right? So 4 by 3 is 12 plus 2y, that is equal to 10. Right? So 2y is equal to 10, subtract 12. I carry across this positive 12 to the right hand side and become negative 12. Right? So 2y is equal to 10 minus 12, which is minus 2. Right? So 2y is equal to minus 2, therefore y, if you divide both sides by 2, when you carry across this 2, you will need to divide by 2, is negative 2y divided by 2. So y is equal to negative 1. Right? So that is the value for y and x. Right? So we have x is equal to 3 and y is equal to negative 1. Now, an next way to check to make sure your answers are correct is to simply substitute these values into the given equation. So we know that x was 3, so put in markers, x was 3 and y was negative 1. So we can substitute this into equation 1 and equation 2 and we will get 11 and 10. Once we get 11 and 10, then we know the answers are correct. So it's 3, this is equation 1, so I'll put in equation 1 here. So it's 3 times 3 because x was 3 minus 2 times y, which is minus 1, that is equal to 11. 3 by 3 is 9. For back, well, negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. So I put a plus 2 there because a negative by negative is a plus. That is equal to 11. Right, so 9 plus 2 is 11. And then you had 11. Alright. So 11 equal to 11, it satisfies equation 1. Let's see if it satisfies equation 2. So we have 4 multiplied by 3 plus 2 multiplied by negative 1, that is equal to 10. 4 by 3 is 12. 2 by negative 1 is negative 2. That is equal to 10. 12 minus 2 is 10. And then you only have 10 on the right hand side. So the left hand side is equal to the right hand side for both equations when you substitute the values of x and y. Therefore, the values of x and y are correct. Right, for both cases. Understand this, right? This exercise 2 here, we have 5y plus 2x is equal to 9. We have 2y plus 2x is equal to 6. So our first step is to look at the coefficients of x and y for the both equations. So let's start off with the variable y. Equation 1, you have 5y. Equation 2, you have 2y. So the coefficient of y in equation 1 is 5. The coefficient of y in equation 2 is 2. They are not the same. They are different numbers. Right? So if we go on to the next variable, we're looking to see if we get the same coefficient for either x or y first. So we go on to the next variable, which is x. The coefficient of x in equation 1 is 2. The coefficient of x in equation 2 is 2. they are the same number, the same coefficient. So therefore, we would eliminate x, right? So if you have 2x, right, and you have 2x from equation 1 and equation 2, right? Equation 1 and equation 2, you have 2x, and you want to get 0, that is your goal. You need to either add or subtract the two equations to get 0, to cancel off the x. In this case, if you have 2x and you have 2x, you would simply subtract the two equations to get 0 for the x terms. So 2x minus 2x will give you 0, that's the cancelling of the x variable. So equation 1 minus equation 2 will now give you, let's see what that will give you. 5y minus, this 5y minus this 2y will give you 3y. Right? Now this positive 2x minus this positive 2x will give you 0. I'm not putting in the 0 because you don't need to put in a 0. Right? So that is how you minus any two equations. The top equation minus the bottom equation. So the terms of equation 1 minus the terms of equation 2. The x terms minus the x terms, the y terms minus the y terms, the constants minus the constants. So it's now 9 minus 6, which is true. So yeah, 3y is equal to 3, therefore y will be equal to 3 divided by 3. Because you carry across the 3, thus you need to divide by 3. Because this 3 times y is equal to 3. Carry across the 3, you need to do the opposite of multiply, which is to divide. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. Right? So your value for y is 1. Now that you know y is 1, you're looking also for the other variable which is eliminated, which is x. So you can substitute this value into either equation 1 or equation 2. I will substitute it into equation 2. Right? But it does not matter. You could have substituted into equation 1. Right? So I'll say sub for substitute y is equal to 1 into equation 2. Right? Into equation 2. So wherever I see y, replace it with the number 1. So I have 2, that is 2 times y, so I'm replacing it with 1 now. So it's 2 times 1 plus 2x, and that is equal to 6. So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 2x, and that is equal to 6. So therefore 2x is equal to 6. We are carrying across this positive 2 here, so it now becomes minus 2. Right, so it's now 2x is equal to 6 minus 2. So therefore 2x is equal to 6 minus 2, which is 4. Now if 2x is equal to 4, you simply divide by 2 and you carry it across. Therefore x is equal to 4 divided by 2. So x is therefore equal to 2. So your values for x, well, your value for x is 2 and your value for y is 1. Right, so that is the solution for this question here. Right. So let me know if you understand the solution here.